All right, good evening. It is now 7:30. The date is October the 2nd. I'd like you to please stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance and the closing prayer. Opening prayer. I read closing down here.
Like I didn't write a closing
No,
prayer.
you could do one though, we might need it.
Lord, we're meeting here tonight to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. We also ask that you keep the victims, the families, and the public safety workers in Las Vegas in your prayers. And we thank you for being the source of our guidance tonight. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mathis,
Here.
Krug is present. Tucker is absent. Gopal,
Here.
Kessler is absent. Lorraine
Present.
and Shoemaker is absent. You have four members present.
Now, on that one meeting that we had, we only had 4 members present, and it was a voting issue. Tonight, now, we don't have a voting issue with the people. Remember which one I'm talking about, the chickens?
Well, yeah,
You've
that's not
got
a
a
problem, it's a
quorum.
matter of how.
But I
you
got
have
to
have
address-
majority of the board on some occasions. You can't just have a majority of the people present, and that's where that came about. There's
Came
not a
about,
majority
of the board. Okay,
So we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
we're good. Okay. All right, included in the packet are the minutes for the regular meeting of September the 18th and the workshop meeting of September the 25th. Are there any changes to the meeting minutes or corrections? The meeting minutes stand approved as presented. Expenditures. Are there any questions in front of you regarding any of the expenditures? All right. A motion is in order to approve the expenditures totaling $592,703.29 for payment.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Tucker is absent. Gopal,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Shoemaker is absent. Mathis,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Motion passes.
All right, public hearings. This is a proposed special assessment roll for Dollar Lake Improvements Assessment District Number 2. This public hearing on the special assessment roll for Dollar Lake Improvement Special Assessment District Number 2. The proposed roll assesses a total of $653.45 per parcel, spread over a 5-year period. The board will accept public comment on the following: the individual's assessment in relation to benefits received, the total cost of the project, and the validity of the proceedings to date. I will open it up now for public comment. If you'd like to come up and speak on the podium, you can give your name, but you don't have to give your address. And you're welcome to do that right now if you want to talk in regards to Dollar Lake.
I may be not addressing the right topic. My name is Gregory Clausen, and I'd like to make a comment and followed by a question about the Dollar Lake Improvement Special Assessment District and role. I live on Triple Oak Drive on the south shore of the lake, and I am part of the Special Assessment District, as are all other residents whose property adjoins the lake. However, it's come to my attention that all of the landowners that live in Triple Oak Estates, that development on the southwest corner, have deeded access to the lake through the area known as Acorn Park. Because of that, it's my feeling that since they have access to the lake, they are also beneficiaries of the Lake Improvement Project, aquatic weed control, and therefore should be part of the Special Assessment District and charged accordingly. My question is, should all the property owners in Triploga Estates having deeded access be considered as benefiting from the Lake Improvement project? And should they be included in the Special Assessment District? If so, how can the district and the role be amended?
Tom, did you include those in the count?
They've never been in this district in all the years they've had it. If they'd requested that, we could have certainly done that. We've only done it on the properties fronting the lake and the channel. Mr. Clausen was in the office today, and I explained to him that procedurally, if we were to do that, we'd have to start the process over. And the additional cost of notices would probably outweigh any benefit of reducing any assessments. I'm not sure how many lots there are in question, but typically a lot that doesn't have direct access, but only through a deeded park access, would only pay maybe a quarter of an assessment compared to the other people. So, based on the timing we're on right now, if we delay the process any further, it won't get on the roll this year. Now, we could address it next year, or at the next time it comes up in 5 years. But I would.
The homes that you're talking about, are they the ones that are on Windsor Beach at the water's edge or no? Or are they the homes on the other side that have no water privileges? Only through an
There'd be the
easement?
homes that are along, I believe the ones along Windsor Beach that are part of that development are deeded through the current park, as well as homes down Dollar Lake Court that do not front the water or the channels that are included right now. There are,
What's
a
your
couple courts
suggestion?
where, the courtyards where the
There's
court
quite a
lots
few.
where the houses on the south side, are not on the lake, but yet they have access to the lake.
The people, I don't see how we could do it now, but if the group of people decided for next year, it would bring their price down.
Well, if I could, what happens is the special assessment district was set up. And this is just to confirm the role for that district. Those properties, for whatever reason, are not part of the district, not part of the special assessment area. So, yeah, if you were to do anything, you'd have to somehow stop the process now, which I don't really know that you could. And start all over, as Tom said, and there's really no good mechanism to stop this at this point.
Not now.
Unless you had enough, again, if you had 51% of the people come in to stop it. Your concerns seemingly are very legitimate, from what I can tell, but that's back at the other hearing where the special assessment district is set up.
I realize I missed that meeting, but I thought I might try to come and voice my concern.
Yeah.
Well, that was good.
Oh, yeah, it's good, and at least this way, everybody can consider that next time.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have probably get the same assessment, not like one whole assessment. Again, as Mr. Broker stated, it'd be a portion of the assessment, whatever that would be.
Can we bring that
Why
up?
only a portion? I don't understand that part. We're all assessed, no matter what our frontage is, we're all assessed in equal value, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, that would have to be determined at the time, but besides benefiting from the lake being cleaner, you're also benefiting from a view. And, ready access, the view's worth something.
Values.
The view doesn't, at least in my opinion, the view is not affected a lot by the few weeds that grow around the edge of the lake.
Well, and again, as Mr. Gopel just said, any assessment has to have some relationship to value. You can't assess something that adds no value to anything. And again, it's not really a question at this point in time. When that comes about, that would be something
That's what we
to
need
be
to do.
discussed at that point. But there's no easy mechanism to In fact, there's no mechanism to change the district now
Yeah.
unless you start all over with the whole new district.
I understand that, I don't wanna go through the
Yeah.
cost and expense of all that.
Now, who is the group that will clean your park? Or is it the people up in the back that don't have the
Anybody that belongs to the Dollar Lake
association?
Yeah, it's anybody with access to the association. I'm John Rush, I'm the association president.
Okay, let me let him finish, and then, John, I'm gonna have you come to the podium.
Sure.
Because this has educated us, I never knew that. I never knew that. Okay, Mr. Crawford, yes, John, you could come up.
Good evening. I apologize for firing in there. I just wanted to go ahead and put a little clarity in. Dollar Lake Homeowners Association is an association, as you guys well know. And the cleaning of the beach and the maintenance is basically taken care of your yearly dues. So really has nothing to do with the special assessment district per se. I can tell you right now that the association considers its members to be all of the houses that benefit, including the groups that he had indicated. Not everybody pays, but that's,
That's
completely
true.
separate.
Yes, and if you stop the proceedings now, and then it took time to redo it, you'd have one summer without weed control. And were you on the lake when the one summer they stopped it?
I'm on the canal, actually, and they haven't sprayed there because the water's been so low, and I can attest, Eurasian milfoil is our big problem.
Yeah.
And that is an invasive weed. I understand people have voiced concerns over letting the lakes go back to their natural habitat. There is no natural anymore. When you have an invasive species in there, it's going to choke out your system, and I guarantee you.
That's
Yeah.
not what I'm looking for.
No, and I understand. No, and I appreciate your comments.
Does anyone in the board would like to speak? No? All right.
We've never done this in the past with deeded access for,
Not on Dollar Lake, because generally when these start, we're basically letting them tell us how they
Absolutely, yeah.
wanna do it.
I mean, I'm educated on this also, that next time they come, I don't know how much it would drop. I mean, four lots would basically drop one lot. I mean, if they're deeded access, or we're only charging them 25% of a house on the water.
Yeah, we'd have to mix in the, off the top of my head, I couldn't say for sure. It would not be a significant amount, but the problem is the cost of publishing the notices
Understood that.
is pretty extensive.
And I understand what you said also, that we don't necessarily initiate these. It's
just
all the lakes, the 18 lakes in the township that come to us and ask us to collect the money, basically.
So to that point, is there an avenue, and he brought up a very, very valid point, is there an avenue where we could approach you guys, in the upcoming fiscal year or whatnot, to possibly look into reassessing the district and adding more individuals to it?
Not this year, but next year they can.
Well, if it was early enough in the year, I don't know, Jack, if we could have a hearing to consider adjusting the boundaries of the district?
You have to set up, no, I'd have to research that, but I think not.
Okay.
You set up this special assessment district for a 5-year period. I think you have to let that run out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we could check into that, that'd be fantastic. If that proves to be the case, then, maybe we can go ahead and then canvass the group on our own through the homeowners association for the next 5-year period. But if we could take a look at that, that'd be wonderful.
What company do you use? Do you know?
It's aquatic nuisance.
Is it Aquatic
Yeah.
Nuisance? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who gives.
They're a
Aquatic
good company
Nuisance,
to
yeah.
work with.
Yeah, they've been phenomenal. They've held pricing. They're a good company. Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else? Yes, sir.
Forgive me, I didn't bring my letter that I received, but if I can recall off my memory good enough, the total cost of the millage for the next 5 years was, what, 36,000?
652.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And as you stated earlier, it was $653 per
We have that.
over 5 years. It would total of $653, I think.
What
so.
I'm gonna give you is, I'm gonna give you my paperwork, and it tells you everything as far as how much, what per year, and who are the people signing for.
Okay,
So-
well, that was all in the original letter that was mailed to all of us, but, well, for the record, my name's Greg Dent. I live on Dollar Lake Drive. And, my question was, the first year of the 5 years stated it was $154 and some odd cents, which was $30 to $35 more than the other years. And the reason stated was for administrative costs. Now, when I did the math, I divided the total millage, 36,000 some hundred, by the $653. I came up with 56 houses that this affects. And I just thought, you know, that extra $35 for the first year for 56 houses was kind of steep for administrative costs.
How did that come about, Tom?
The administrative costs, well, the biggest cost is publishing the notices, which is required by the statute. And we have to publish the notice of each hearing twice. And that's about 1,500 of the cost right there. And then there's administrative time, mailing costs, legal costs if necessary. So the total administrative cost is about $2,000.
And that involves what? Typing the letter and mailing it?
Well, because this is a private improvement, we can't legally spend township funds on this without getting reimbursed. The biggest cost is publishing the notices in the newspaper. That's rather costly, and each hearing, the notice for each of the 2 hearings has to be published twice, so that's 4 publications in excess of $300 a piece.
Basically, Tom, are we making any money off administrative costs
No.
for this?
No.
So it's a complete wash. I mean, everything that you pay is going towards that. There's no nickel being put back in
More than,
the fund.
really, it's not even that good. I mean, it's still gonna cost the township.
Right.
I mean, just from over the years being involved with special assessments, it's $2,000. There's probably more costs than that that's not included. There's mailing costs, there's, you know, township employee costs. And the township, you know, so the township charging $2,000 for the special assessment, they're still eating some of the cost. I mean, not all the cost is being passed off.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Dave Holcroft.
Dave Hawcroft. I've got just a couple of questions in regard to this. It doesn't affect me directly, but I do live on a lake, and we do pay weed control. And this gentleman's situation with the canals and trailer parks and what have you that have access to the lake being charged. Don't I understand that this is a 5-year program?
Yes.
These places that are in question, was that development even developed when this assessment was set up in the first place?
I don't know, Dave.
These are old neighborhoods.
Pardon me?
These are old neighborhoods. These are not new
Yeah.
developments on Dollar Lake.
They're probably the ones that did do the assessment.
Because things are developing so fast around the lake, you know, they buy a cabin, tear it down and build a $500,000 house and that kind of thing. And I'm just wondering, if that was developed, it should have been set up then.
It goes back a long time. I'm saying the houses that you're talking about back into the 50s, that's when that development started.
So
And-
they should have been included in the first place and they weren't. That's what it amounts to?
Well, at that time in the 50s, I don't know if they were really weed controlling our lakes. Just a
They
few.
weren't controlling, when they decided to start with the weed control, if the places were there, I would say that it was an oversight. That's
That's probably right.
my 2 bits.
It doesn't matter. I mean, each of these special assessment districts are brand new every time you do it. It doesn't matter. You could have a different district the next 5 years than this one, And 5 years ago could have been different than this one. I mean,
I
every
got
time
it.
it's different. It's not an ongoing same thing.
And at that point in time, did they still have the access and the benefits of the lake?
In the 50s, when they did that development, they developed that beach for the people in the back, yes.
Well then, why they only got the actual lakeside owners to begin with is beyond me.
Well, like Mr. Gopel said, I can't remember what he said. Anyway, I'll think about it, but, yeah, the property values, but it was also, the subdivision wasn't there at all for a long time. But then the people, the lake people, because their beaches aren't the greatest, will go and use that public beach. So, but theirs was back, that's a development back in the 50s.
That's like Lake Fenton. It gets used by all kinds of people, but they pay for it as public access. It's like Lake Panema. They've got public access. There's all kinds of people come in and pay for it. If you want to take any one of these lakes and go around and start checking the lakes that they connect to and the canals that they connect to and what have you, there's a lot of people.
You're right, you're right. Thank you, David. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in regards to this? All right. Any board members? Resolution number 2017-43. Clerk Crew, will you present the resolution?
Yes, thank you. This resolution designates the role as Fenton Township Special Assessment Roll 2017-7. It confirms the role as a special assessment role for Dollar Lake improvement in a special assessment district number 2. Divides the role into 5 annual installments, each due and payable on December 1st. Assigns a 1% per month penalty for late payments. Directs the treasurer to collect the assessment, and it repeals any conflicting resolutions. I'll move the resolution.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Gopel.
Yes.
Tucker's absent. Kessler's absent. Mathis.
Yes.
Krug votes yes. Lorraine.
Yes.
Just drew a blank
Okay,
on,
Shoemaker.
Shoemaker, thank you.
yeah.
Shoot.
All right, reports. Are there any committees reports to be made? I have a few things that I thought I would just say. You're going to see a sign, I think it's on the corner of Laring and Torrey Road, and all it says is lice. And I saw it today, and I kind of asked around, what does it mean? I don't know what schools or whatever, but head lice is coming out right now. And so this one person put the sign about lice because she sells the product to help the children. Now that's the truth. So anyway, you will see that sign up. The second is open burning. Township does not allow open burning. We do have the open bonfires down by the beaches and that people can have, but they're limited and they're very tiny. But you cannot burn your branches or your leaves, or the fire truck will drive up, give you the first warning, maybe, but also might give you the ticket. But we do not allow that. Today we had 3 in the township. The first nice day, got a lot of leaves around, so you got to bag them, put them out to the trash. All right. Is there any other reports? Communications, none. Adoption of ordinances. This is the second reading of the proposed gas and electric franchise ordinance for Consumers Energy Company, which was introduced on the September 18th meeting. The existing 30-year franchise ordinance will expire before the end of this year. The purpose of this ordinance grants franchise rights for Consumers Power to continue providing natural gas and electric service in the Fenton Township for another 30 years. Is there any board discussion? None? All right, I need a motion to adopt ordinance number 798, a 30-year gas and electric franchise ordinance for Consumers Energy Company as presented.
So moved.
Do I have
Support.
any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Kessler is absent. Gopal?
Yes.
Mathis?
Yes.
I vote yes. Lorraine?
Yes.
Tucker is absent, and Shoemaker is absent. It passes.
All right. Unfinished business, this is the election commission meeting, and it will be scheduled on 10/16 of 17. Clerk Krug, would you please announce the election commission and tell them on what time you want this meeting?
Well, we normally do it just prior to our regular meeting on that night. And
Our police and fire will be that night also, because it's not tonight.
then we
So
can-
we can meet at 6:55.
Yep, that'll be
Oh,
enough.
perfect.
Sound good?
Yeah,
Okay. That's fine. I'll let Rob know.
New business, Genesee County Road Commission, local road agreement. This is Dartmouth Drive, and it is the resurfacing of it. At the September the 5th meeting, the board adopted a resolution to create a special assessment district for the resurfacing of part of Dartmouth Drive. The next step in the process is to execute an agreement to the Genesee County Road Commission, which will allow them to proceed with project design. This agreement is presented tonight for board consideration. This is one that's been going on for an awful long time. And I would like to see this go through for the people. But just like they said, it is not the whole Dartmouth Drive. Dartmouth and Darts are connected. And then, what is the street that's the city of Fenton?
Westman,
What is it?
Westman.
Westman. Westman comes off of South Long Lake Road, which people think is Darts Drive. Then where the street is behind the mall, that's called Darts. And then when it comes up to the one curve, goes into Dartmouth and all the way up the hill. So gentlemen, is there any board discussion? Is there any public discussion in regards to it? All right, a motion is in order to approve the local road agreement with Genesee County Road Commission for resurfacing the part of Dartmouth Drive as presented. Do I have a motion?
so move.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Gopal,
Yes.
Tucker is absent, Kessler is absent. I vote yes. Shoemaker is absent.
It's difficult.
Passes.
Tom, I have a question. Now, we're getting the prices. Did they include the gas line that has to be repaired?
That's
In-
not part of the project.
It isn't part of the
No,
project?
consumers may take the opportunity to do that project while the road's torn up,
Okay.
but that won't be a part of the project that
We got a
we're
head
dealing
nod.
with.
You have who?
We got a head nod from the audience, so.
Oh.
Make a good note, and I will walk across the hall and ask gas distribution.
They had claimed that there is a small leak for a while in that road. And they were saying, like Tom said, if they go into, digging into the road and fixing the road up, that would be the time that they would do it.
Okay.
That's right, thank you. All right, proposed change to the 2017 meeting schedule, and you have this in your packet. Tom, do you want to explain that one? Because it's due to the election.
Right.
Or Bob, either one.
It's real simple. When we set up the meeting schedule, we did not have a November election. And then thanks to a couple of the school districts. Now we have to set one up for the 7th? Yeah.
Yes.
And it really makes it tight because we can't set up till after the school is out that day. So if we could change it, it'll make it easier on staff and setting it up.
Can I throw a monkey wrench into this?
Yep.
Once you publish your schedule of meetings, the only way you can change it is the same way you did the original schedule. So you can't
can't do
cancel a
it.
meeting.
We're rescheduling it.
But you can't do that.
All right, I
How do
got,
we do it then?
Well, you have to go through the whole process, just like the publication, everything, just like your original yearly schedule that you did.
okay.
I don't believe, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I don't believe
You
you
know
can
what?
just change that meeting date after you publish the schedule
Publish.
of meetings.
I don't have a problem, gentlemen. I'll make it a short meeting.
Well,
I don't know.
tell you what, it's
That's
not
the
worth
point, but
the expense and the effort. We'll make it work.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but once you do the yearly amount, the yearly schedule and sets forth all these meetings,
Well,
the only way you can change that schedule is by redoing the whole process that you did.
Yeah.
So you'd have to,
It's not worth it. So
it isn't usually.
let's just
but,
leave
yeah.
it like,
so when's the meeting?
November 6th. Scheduled for, no, the next meeting would be
No, I
The
mean the
meeting
one
we're
we're gonna
talking about is
cancel.
November the 6th.
6th. So, and then the voting is on the 7th.
correct.
So what our
So my
schedule could
suggestion would
be,
be just don't put anything on the agenda for that November 6th
Yeah,
meeting.
we'll just shorten
And if
the-
you need to have a special meeting on a different date, that can be,
I'll just shorten the meeting, that's no problem.
Well, if there's nothing on the agenda, we don't need a meeting.
Yeah, to pay the bills,
well,
to
you
pay the
have to
bills.
still have the meeting. If nobody shows up,
Well,
that's a whole nother thing, but you can't just cancel a meeting because there's no agenda.
what if there's not a quorum?
Well, then you call the meeting to order, say there's no quorum, and you're done.
Hey, we're making more out of it than
Okay.
needed.
Yeah,
all
let's
right.
just,
I'm
let's
just-
just plan
I'll
on
just
being here.
make it happen.
So the 6th, we're
All
back
right,
to the 6th.
so I'm going to
Yes.
withdraw that motion, right?
Correct.
Okay. The next,
I'm almost sorry I brought it up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
well, no, we
No.
got to do it right. All right, the next thing is proposed revisions to PUD plan, and that's the Torrey Road, Thompson Road. And it's in your packet, and I'm just seeing who would be, I was going to have Mr. Tucker talk about this. Tom, you want to discuss this?
I can give a little bit of background. The developer of that property, Mr. Randall, had approached the township
Oh,
wanting to bring in like an indoor-outdoor farmer's market, I guess comparable to similar to the one in Davison, in the southeast corner of the property. The approved conceptual plan for that PUD project has a grocery store there. So our zoning administrator has reviewed it. He believes that the uses are compatible enough and both allowed under the C2 zoning, which is one of the requirements of the PUD, that the uses under C2 zoning are allowed, are permitted. That he doesn't feel a zoning amendment is necessary to allow that use. It would still require a site plan approval by the planning commission, but in his opinion, it does not require a zoning change, but he would like concurrence from the board that they agree with that before that is settled.
I can say I am in favor of it. I really am. It is not going to go on the direct corner of Torrey and Thompson. It is going to go down Torrey before you get to Main Street. I've got the drawings here. It's farmer's market. They're going to have some little restaurants in it so people can sit. This was going to be at one time senior citizen living,
Yeah.
and I think we need something a little livelier than
So-
that on that corner.
I would,
This,
If we don't need, what are we voting on then?
Just that you agree with the zoning administrator's determination that a zoning
And
amendment
this
is
is
not
still gonna
required.
need Tucker's and the planning
Planning
commission.
Yeah,
commission
it's
is still
going
gonna
to
have to
planning
deal with
commission.
it,
They-
so, with site plan.
they haven't seen it.
So this is a formality
Yeah.
that the zoning administrator wants.
Isn't this board, I mean, we've talked and talked and talked about a master plan, and we are
in the first phase of a master plan, and here we are talking about probably one of the most important pieces of property that will be developed in our master plan. And to me, I mean, trust me, I'm
Wouldn't that
pro-business.
fall back to the planning
Planning
commission
commission,
though?
Yeah.
it's gonna go back to planning. It just came, Vince,
I just,
to
I
a
know,
meeting
I
last
love
week.
the idea. I mean, the concept, I mean, I love what they do. But again, that's, in my opinion, I think that's gonna be one of the most important pieces of property in the master plan. So, I would hope that the planning commission,
They're-
you know, why, Tom, why does the board need to act on this at all? I mean, if he feels he still's gotta go to the planning commission.
Yes.
The
And
zoning-
if they decide it's not, then he's gonna have to come from me, or the ZBA.
Right, if you look at Doug's memo, he's claiming here. His last paragraph on the second page, since the township board approved the PUD and the planning commission must approve the site plan and would in the end determine if the proposed development is consistent, we would like both bodies to review the issue and ask that they provide their feedback. So he's
It's just a feedback from the
looking to
boards.
see that you're okay with what he is proposing, the right path to get this done, or to get this approved if it's gonna be approved.
Madam Supervisor, when I got this last week, I made contact with those people that manage the Flint Farmers Market
Uh-huh,
and Davis's Farmer Market.
good.
And they're a very viable spot from April to November. And I know that Davison, I won't name the person, but is having problems filling. It turns out to be an empty building during the winter. So I know, Farmer Market in Linden and Fenton are well-attended and well-used, but I would ask the questions, one, are we gonna compete or are they gonna be part of it? And I would think that we're better off if we delay this till the full board's here.
Oh, definitely. This was, just like Tom said, Doug just wanted to introduce it. The developer came in one day last week, just came in with Valerie. So I sat down on it and, all right, you said it would be vacant though, and then I won't carry this on. From what, November to April?
Yeah, you don't grow much
No.
through the snow.
But from what I understood, there's gonna be shops in there for little restaurants and that. So maybe, I don't know, they didn't tell us the whole thing, but.
Flint's year round, but they're only open 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
just
So,
so you know.
so, but this is gonna come up in, but yes, it's gotta do the planning commission. Is there any other discussion in regards to it? And this gentleman wanted to speak, sir.
I'm just a little confused. You said it was on the southeast corner of Troy?
Southeast corner of the northeast lot.
Yeah, there you go.
The lot
It's-
across
it's
from
the
Miller.
The only corner that doesn't.
The only
have
corner
any-
that
Right,
doesn't
that's
have
just-
anything. Southeast, I got you.
I saw your face kind of drop
See,
when
and
you
I-
started, you're like,
I was doing the land, but you were doing the whole intersection area, yes, yes. Is there any other discussion in regards to it? Okay. The next thing is, we have another offer, gentlemen, for the tax reverted property on Dalhart Drive. It's the vacant lot on Dalhart. And Jack, how do we go about this now? We've got the offer. We've had an offer before.
You wanna let Ed explain it?
why don't you?
Yeah, Ed.
Yeah, Ed.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought the attorney would, on regards to that.
Ed.
Either
Yeah.
accept it or.
Hi, Ed.
Hi. So the lot on Dalhart, we have had an offer on it before for 10,000. This one came in slightly higher. Originally, when we listed all these properties, it was, from an aerial view point, it seemed like one of the nicer parcels that we had to offer to sell. In real life, when you actually make it out to the site, it does propose certain challenges to build due to its vicinity, how close to the road you'd have to build due to the steep hill. And then it does have a not so pretty house next door also. So, you know, originally I'd have said this is insanely low, and then, like, I've had a guy last week that I had a couple conversations with who actually walked the property a couple times, trying to figure out how to put a house on it, just a cottage, and by the time they engineer a house to build it on that hill, go through all the stuff to, all the variances you would need to actually build a home, it almost doesn't make sense to do it unless they get the parcel at a discount. It just makes sense to go buy a house already built or build one on a different lot with less challenges. So it's up to you how you guys counter it or what you do with it, but the parcel does have its challenges.
What was the original listing price at?
40, we dropped it to 35, and the calls picked up a little bit, but not significant.
Just because of your conversation last time, I actually walked the piece of property.
Yeah.
You're right, the house next to it, but as someone that would be an investor, I mean, I guess I'm looking to you as a professional, I'm not a real estate agent. To me, it looks very attractive if I could buy that in the house adjacent to it. It makes the property very valuable, or at least worth more than 12. When you bring these to us, I know you have to bring every offer.
Yep.
Would you take $12,000 for that piece of property? Because I say no after walking the property.
I don't think I'd take 12, but I don't know if it's gonna go for more than 20. Because I'm selling some new builds now, and the new builds that the people are building now are lots that they were buying for 12 and 15,000. And they go through all the stuff to build a house, and they're making 10, 12, if they're lucky, 15%. So it's not like the margins are high on new builds, and that's on a flat lot, sewer available. You don't have to, and they don't need variances, they just go in, build their house, put it up, cookie cutter, done, make their money. Where to find an investor to build on this, I don't think it's gonna be an investor, it's gonna be someone that wants a cottage, and then how much are people willing to spend for a second home on a lake that you really can't do a lot with.
The area that it is in, the road conditions are very poor, especially in the winter months and in the spring because of the mud.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really bad. We worry about fire trucks and emergency cars going down the road. But 12,000 is pretty low when
It's low.
I've got it here that it was, a price listed at first was 40.
Yeah.
So what is the wishes of the board?
Another little challenge is you walked it, so you have the not so clean house, if you're looking at the road, to the left. Then you have a house to the right that's fairly well taken care of. Whoever buys it is going to have to deal with that challenge also, because not only have they encroached by approximately about 5 feet, they are also, all their runoff, all their water, and their drain systems for their home are running onto this parcel. So it's just
Well,
one.
that, we have to stop that. We have an ordinance that can't do it. Yeah. Is it hooked up for sewer?
I think there's sewer on that street.
Okay.
There have to be.
There is,
Yeah.
there's sewer on the street.
Okay.
I checked.
They're offering 20?
No,
12.
12.
12.
Yeah.
We could counter with 20.
Yeah, I would say just counter something.
Tom, did we have this one up for sale long, long time ago?
No, we had a different one on that street that we sold
And we
years
did
ago.
sell it?
What did we pay for it then? Or what did we sell it for
I
then?
can't
I don't
remember.
recall. It was the remains of a house that they had.
Is it the one on the
tear it
corner?
down. Pardon?
Was it the one on the corner closer to North Long Lake Road?
No,
No.
it's way down at the very end of Dalhart. Actually, past where the road ends, technically.
Oh.
Well, the way I look at it, we hired a real estate expert, so he said to either counter at 20 or plus. So, I mean, I'm not a real estate person. We do want to sell the property, but I think 12 is way low, so I would not support that. But if our person, the real estate agent that we hired, Ed, is telling us to counter at what, if we came back at maybe 22,
Yeah, that's fair.
22 to 25, we don't have a full board, so if we want to wait, but again, this is just another 2 weeks. And I don't think Ed's in here fighting over a commission on $20,000.
No, it's
So,
So do you want to,
I suggest we counter with 22 grand.
And then bring it back in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, if they'll take 22,
I was gonna say, if they're gonna
excellent.
take it, they'll
If
take it.
not, we can keep plugging along, stay the course, and hopefully we'll make something happen.
Okay.
We got
I'll
everything
make
to
a motion
gain
that
and
we-
nothing to lose.
Counter or $22,000 on,
You want the address? On Dalhart Drive. Do you want the parcel number?
0611529-018.
okay.
All right.
I'll
You
make that
made
motion.
motion. Does anybody second it?
I'll support it.
Okay, roll call, please.
Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker is absent. I vote yes. Mathis,
Yes.
Kessler's absent. Shoemaker's absent. Lorraine,
Yes.
motion passes that we will
All right, I'll let them
give
know.
them a 22,000 offer.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
You guys have a good night.
Board comments. Are there any comments from the members of the board?
Just,
Yes. Oh, Mr. Gold.
Well,
go ahead. You might.
I just have one for the audience, and I say this sincerely. Thank you for coming. I've been here for many years, and there's been many meetings where there's nobody here other than Dave and a Tri-County reporter. And in the last 2 weeks, I mean, it's really how I get the pulse of the township as far as what you want. The last 2 weeks ago, I've learned that, you know, from people showing up that, you know, there's, with as many lakes here, there's different and alternative methods of what people are interested in, and that's something we've never done before without input from the community. And also tonight is that, again, I learned something tonight about, you know, the deeded parcels also paying a little bit of the share of that. So I appreciate you coming. I'm sincere about that. Remember, we work for you, and if we don't know what you want, we're just going on blind faith here. So I like to see more, no offense, Dave, but I like to see, other than Dave, you know, more people here, and I appreciate you coming.
And we will be missing Mr. Hallcroft because you go to Florida when? November? December. And we don't-
Whatever Mrs. Hawcroft wants to.
Yeah. We look
You've been
for,
married a long time too, haven't you?
all right. Thank you, Ed. What we're going to be doing is.
I got a couple of things.
Oh, I'm sorry,
quick.
Bob.
The fire chief asked me to remind everybody that this Sunday from 11 to 3, there's an open house at the fire station, both Station 1 and the one on Owen Road. You can get yourself a hot dog and the kids can see the trucks, and even big kids can.
Are they at both?
I think it's just Station 2.
I think.
I think it's
Station
Station
Texted me,
1.
5120 Owen Road, that's what.
Okay,
Owen?
I
I
lied.
just didn't want people
Forget the
coming up
one
there.
down here. It's on Owen Road.
If you got little kids, bring them. They get to climb in the fire trucks, see police cars, eat.
Put a fire out in a building.
There you go.
And the thing that I'm happy about is that on Wednesday of this week, the fence will be started for the dog park, the regional dog park on Thompson Road. And we've ordered the sign, we paid for the fence, and the installer, so by golly, it might happen. Thank you.
It's gonna happen, that's for sure. We're gonna go into closed session, and so that's when we'll take a break right now. And we have to
You have to leave.
close the session, then we come back, open it, and then we adjourn. So if you would like, I mean, you cannot stay.
Well, they
Make the motion.
Huh?
We have to make a motion,
Make
and
a
it's a
motion
closed
first.
session, so I can discuss some pending litigation we have within the township.
I'll move that motion.
Okay,
Second.
roll call.
I vote yes. Gopel?
Yes.
Mathis?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yes.
Tucker? Kessler? And Shoemaker absent. We
a fast meeting.
have enough to go into executive session.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Please come back.
Yes.